Hello everyone, this is my review of the Kerikit Grey Apple Leather Amber. The amber is a style that has been around for a while. It is just in a new product in terms of the material that it's made out of, and there are a few slight upgrades to how the amber is as well, which I'll take you through too. But apple leather, as it sounds, is made from apples. So obviously it's an alternative vegan friendly product. It's not leather, and as a result of that, it's very lightweight. It's a very lightweight bag that's not nylon. It looks like leather, feels like leather. I have it in the, oops, she says, antique rose, which is the last updated version is the antique rose one, which has the laptop sleeve inside. And then I have an original one in the navy, both of which are well used bags, so the leather has softened and does sort of lose its shape a little bit once it softens. This, when I took the pictures for the Kit Girl group yesterday, was full of stuffing. Today it has nothing inside it, it's not stuffed. And as you can see, it's keeping its shape really well, even without anything in it. I'm just bouncing it on my hand and it's kept its shape. I don't know how this might potentially soften because the ambers were like that. They just have softened over time, which is the beauty of leather. It does soften, but you can sense the difference in the weight of these. Both these bags are empty. You can feel the difference. So I'm going to go over the features of this one and just compare it a little bit to those, and to look at the apple leather. So you can see it's got like a pebbled effect on it. It's not as pronounced as something like the antique rose or the navy, which is more visible pebble, and you can feel that. You can feel it slightly when you're feeling at this one. I'm quite a tactile person. I like fabrics that feel nice to touch to me. If it doesn't feel nice, I don't want to touch it. I get quite sensitive that way. This is so soft, and I was trying to work out how I could describe what it feels like, because leather has a hardness to it. I love the Kerikit leathers. She's always chosen really wisely in terms of the leathers. I love how they feel and they smell, and you know, they're very comfortable. You can just hear that when I'm rubbing that. You don't hear that same sound on here. I'm doing the same thing. It's much softer. It feels very soft, and the closest thing I could think of, if I close my eyes and touch it, what could I be touching, is suede. It has that warm softness to it. It's like when you pick up a really soft baby blanket that's really soft and fluffy versus a slightly more cottony version. It's really, they're both lovely. I love the feel of both of them, but this does, it just has a softness to it that is hard to explain. There you go. And obviously one of the questions is going to be robustness. I know obviously Kerry has researched this endlessly to decide that she wants to put this in the line. She obviously does nylon as well, which is also another vegan alternative if you prefer nylon to this, but this feels absolutely lovely. And I'm going to do something right now that, please don't freak out when I do this. I'm going on the base. I'm going to run my nail down here just to show you it's not marking. Okay, so my cat's just over here and she wonders what on earth I'm doing in terms of making these strange noises. It's not marking. I've only just been re-released, so I obviously haven't taken it out yet. Don't know what it's going to be like longer term, but it certainly is a good start for me. This test with the nail, it feels like it's going to be robust, and to at least take a reasonable amount of knocks and still look beautiful. So what's changed and what's, you know, compared to the ambers? Now, as far as I'm aware, this is the only one that has these changes on it currently. The straps on this one are made of the apple leather. The only thing I would say is this feels slightly more cushiony than these. So they're the same width, appear to be the same length, maybe slightly longer, adjusting slightly longer. does have a slightly longer tail than the Antique Rose. Actually, it could possibly go down a little bit further in terms of its adjustability. I don't know whether it's because it's the hardness of leather that it doesn't feel that he can squish in as much, but these feel so soft. I can almost feel the sponge underneath. They feel very soft and lovely and very subtle. On the front, nothing has changed. It looks exactly the same. It still has the roll handle. Inside, the zips are lovely, as usual, the usual Kerikit zips. Difference for this one, it does have a recycled lining. So if I compare that, so this, I don't have an India lining with me, but this is the original lining that we all loved, the shiny, you can see that it's like darker champagne colour. This is slightly lighter. It feels, I'm trying to get them together, it's a slightly lighter colour. It's like a very pale champagne colour. It has a very similar texture to it. It's hard to tell other than the colour. This is slightly feels a little bit more nylon-y than this one does, because obviously it's not made out of nylon. I'm not sure what recycle goes into the recycled linings, but it's got a slightly different feel to it. It's not as nylon-y feel as the other one is. It's beautiful colour, no changes inside. It still has the laptop sleeve. It has the clip, this style clip, which if you're hanging your keys down, pockets are the same. Inside, this is the front pocket. Again, doesn't look like there's been any changes to the front pocket. Kerry has alluded that there is some slight changes. Not quite sure what they are. The only thing I can think of, it does look a little bit like the zip on the front pocket. I'm trying to get them side by side. Which is what I'm doing. To go that way. Try and hold bags. It looks like the zip goes down slightly further on the front pocket. So it drops down slightly further. Also, this looks like the same on the front for the side pockets. Also looks like the zip goes down just a little touch further. I could be wrong. It may just be the way that the factory that makes these has done it slightly differently. But it opens very nicely. You've got the pocket, you've got the poppy, so the card holder things here, a slip here to put cards behind. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 there. You've got the pen loops, but that's the Casey pocket. No change. The depth seems to be exactly the same. Just I think the zips are slightly further down, which means that flap comes down slightly further. The main difference for the ambers going forward, I believe, is the back. So back down for a second. So on the original ambers, you had the straps for your luggage handle, 2 strips here. You had the security pocket here, and then you had the larger pocket here to put a small laptop in. I had a MacBook Pro 13 Retina. They've just replaced it with a 14-inch MacBook Pro. Don't know quite how this is, but they're both the same, exactly the same dimensions. I never quite get how they measure computers. And in my navy one, which is slightly older, I can get it in the back sleeve. I can't in this one. It's literally millimeters of zip difference that it won't go into the back of this one. But that's fine because I have the laptop sleeve in this one, so I tend to put it inside anyway. But because you have the security pocket and then you have to make way for the zip, this pocket has to stop not to the full width of the bag. And I'll show you why that's a point in a second. But that's how the back is on the ambers currently. But the transition is to the same as the Joy, which has the security pocket. But because there's no zip on this side, it goes all the way across to the seam. My finger comes right the way to the seam here, which does mean with things like a Tilly wallet, I can actually get it to go in there and have decent amount of space to be able to zip that up really comfortably. I kind of felt I was just put it in one of these. You kind of feel like you're shoving it in slightly in this one, and you have to kind of move it around and adjust it and have it. It's actually better having it upright and kind of moving it around, which is fine, but for ease it is so nice just to be able to put it in and zip it up. So that extra tiny little bit of width means they go in across that side. So therefore the Joy, and now Amber's going forward, has the magnetic pockets here, so you can have that there. My pouch 30s fit nicely into there. It comes to about here, so quite a nice little nappy station if you're still using nappies. Tilly goes in that way, she also goes in that way, and still magnetizes because of her width. It still catches the magnet, but is still concealed inside. This is a case for an iPhone 11 Plus because I'm filming with my 13, but as you can see, that's gone right the way down to here, closes up. I like having the option to chuck things that are in my hands in a slip pocket. I really like slip pockets in that way. So I quite like this change going forward. Obviously it's a little zip that comes undone to be able to then put over your trolley. And another detail I've noticed, and if Kerry's watching, we do notice these details, is it used to be when she did these type of pockets, you always had one of these little tabs as the zip that came here. And in some of the bags that meant it come just below the line and was effectively dangling on the floor on normal use. I used to kind of then tuck mine back up and then zip it across with my finger, so it kept it away and kept it protected so it wasn't getting damaged. But I've noticed they have used a different type of zip, a lovely little tiny gold, which has it. I don't know if you can see it, it's so tiny. Just trying to show, there you go. So it has a little detail inside it, and if anyone still has the tags, it looks like this in a tiny little format. The little bar thing that we had, it's all about detail. So that obviously, because it's not hanging down, it's not in the way, another improvement that we like. Just makes it, she always strives for perfection. Just another detail that just makes a difference. So in terms of the grey colour, this is just called grey. Normally Kerry kind of names some of her colours, but this is just grey. But anyone that had the Dove grey from a few years ago, these are my tags. And Oprah, actually the Oprah's got more colour onto it, in Dove grey. I've got light coming in from this side, and depends on where I position it. It is a shade darker than this grey, but they pair lovely. You know, to the untrained eye, you wouldn't know the difference. This is obviously a pebble leather, and that is the apple leather. Go beautifully together. So I will be using this and have my lovely luggage tag. I do love these. These were something I always got in whatever colour I had things in. So there we go. It goes on there like that. So that's the grey. The Tilly I was using is the dark grey from 2021, I think. Not the current season warm grey. This is the dark grey. Just obviously a much more elephant true grey against there. And just to put some blue against it, this is vintage blue. Because Dove grey, one of the things everyone talked about was it had that blue tinge to it. So just showing you blue up against it. So it's a very beautiful colour. I like nylon. I've always liked the quality of the nylon that Kerikit has used, but this is yeah, I'm really impressed with this. Can't wait to get it using it. It will work. I will still use my navy amber, but it's nice to have a lightweight alternative to go into the rotation of my bags. So there you go. If you have any questions or anything you want to know, please do comment. I'm happy to reply. And there you go. This is the Kerikit Amber in the apple leather grey. There you go. Thank you for watching.